Well, as I always say, like it or not, it's Friday.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's Friday. It's been another.
We don't
week.
have a lot of questions, and he said that you guys don't like us anymore.
No, but I don't like. I don't think that's true. I'm like, maybe people are just tired. You know, it's like when you have a comedian and people start getting tired of their shtick.
But I don't think we have a shtick.
We don't have a shtick?
I just read things and you answer. It's not like we're bantering. I don't think we are.
We aren't?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Anyway, it's Friday.
Ow.
What happened?
I got a flu shot.
Oh, right. She got a flu shot today.
And I just bonked you.
I'm sorry. Yeah, and I'm due to get my flu shot, and I always have horrible reactions to them.
Oh, I don't, except for an owie arm.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's better than getting the flu.
It is better than getting the flu. Any case, there weren't quite as many questions as normal, which is fine. A lot of people were asking about the MG, which it's gratifying. I did put a warning in the video that after this point, it's nothing but MG crap. So I can't do that here because it's kind of a mix of stuff because I just go down the list. I do it chronologically. So there's going to be a mix of MG and non-MG stuff. So if you're really sick of thinking about MGs, just be aware. Maybe you might want to get up every now and then and go do something else.
Or you can hit the fast forward 15 seconds.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that.
Yeah. What decade is it?
I don't know. I never have any idea what decade it is. I saw a picture of Liv Tyler this morning, and they were like, it was some photo shoot of Liv Tyler, and I looked at her, and I'm like, okay, it's Liv Tyler. It was taken in like 1993, and I'm like, oh, it was a long time ago, and because it was for something to do with Lord of the Rings, and I'm like,
in 1993.
No, it couldn't. No,
it would have been like Empire Records or something.
Probably was. There you go. Ooh, Empire Records.
Yeah, it was a terrible movie.
Terrible movie.
Why'd you see it?
I don't remember.
I watched it because it was a thing, and I was a teenager, and I was like, ooh, people watch this.
Yeah, no, I always get it conflated in my head with High Fidelity, the John Cusack.
I don't like that movie either.
Well, the book was great, but
Okay.
the movie just aged terribly. Plus, I can't stand Jack Black.
Really?
He just annoys the hell out of me.
But he was so funny in that movie.
Which
The
movie?
one with Robert Downey Jr.
Iron Man?
No.
Iron Man 2?
No.
Iron Man 3?
Stop it! And Ben Stiller and
Oh, Tropic Thunder.
he was so funny in that.
Yes, he was funny in that. Yes, he was funny in that. He was absolutely funny in that movie.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Okay. There, I guess we do banter. Okay, I feel bad though that you mix these things up.
Well, if you want to, just here. How about this? I'll get a pen, and you'll mark the ones that are for MG, and we'll do them at the end.
Okay.
Does that work? Does that
Yes.
work for you guys? Okay.
So, I guess we'll pause here.
No,
No,
we're not going to pause.
we're not gonna pause. We're gonna keep going.
I'm just looking for a marker for you. There.
Okay, let me find a watch question. We'll do watch.
Oh
stuff.
wait. Well, first and foremost. Well, there's. We're.
I just
She's wearing her sub.
for anybody that hasn't seen it, there. Hold it, please. I'm shaky.
There it is, in all of its shiny glory.
Okay.
And sorry, I'm also wearing. These are both watches that I built out of parts and scraps and stuff. So they look really impressive, and on paper, it's like, ooh, it's a 1680, or ooh, it's a 5513. I built this stuff out of junk, so it's not like some amazing piece of amazingness. It's an optical illusion in watch form. So yeah, it looks like a 5513. For the most part, it is, but it's not a museum piece at all. I just like it because I don't have to think about it. It's accurate and it's durable, and I've been wearing this thing bonking around on the MG, honestly.
Okay, I can do a question.
Okay.
Okay, from the wristwatch experience. You may already know this, but the speedo and other gauges on the shoot.
No, that's an MG question.
Wait, watchmaking. It says watchmaking.
Oh yeah, but he's talking about.
Ah, crap. Okay, fine. I'll go to.
God, are they all MG stuff?
Yes.
Holy crap. Anyway, go on.
No, I'm gonna do the watch ones first because
Yes.
people that don't care can just turn off and be like, I'm done.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, from James Duffy. Always happy when my Sandwich Time channel on Instagram gets a shout out here. No, I do not eat a sandwich every day, but I do quite often. I try to pace out my posts and there are sometimes gaps. I also built an archive of sandwich photos for a year before starting the account, so I have content for the times that when I have crossed that fine line into the realm of too much sandwich. There's no such thing.
Oh, yes, there is. I've had too much sandwich before.
There is a method to my madness, but my goal is a bit more nebulous.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I like to Sandwich Time channel. He's not a big channel by any means.
I need to follow him. I keep forgetting.
Well, I mean, but he's on Instagram, Sandwich Time channel. The great thing is he has wonderful pictures of sandwiches, and people love sandwiches. Sandwiches are great. He doesn't have a ton of followers, and he probably deserves some more. I just appreciate the account. I think it's neat. God, what was I going to say? Oh, and the fact that you sent Mr. Duffy, that you sandbag your account to kind of have sort of a backlog, it reminds me, the World War II correspondent Ernie Pyle did the same thing because he had a weekly column, and he always felt like he had a slave master behind him cracking whips because he always was coming up against his weekly deadline. So when he was able to kind of get himself in order to sort of beat his sort of depression and ennui, he would write a ton of columns all at once, and he would breathe this sigh of relief that he had a cushion basically. So you and Ernie Pyle together again. Hopefully, though, you won't be shot by a Japanese sniper in World War II.
That's such a you thing to say. Hey, it's a fabric marker. Anyway, from Walter Alvarado. Spencer referenced the Royal Oak and the Klein effect. You may or may not recognize it, but there are many people out there willing to pay a premium for watches serviced by Spencer Klein. The Royal Oak is a recent example. You sold two in a short span for over $800 each, while the exact same watch owned by a mere mortal just sold on eBay for a third of that price. The Klein effect.
The Klein effect, that's neat. Well, part of the reason for the pricing is because I don't ever discount my labor or stuff. Long time ago, when I was first really doing this as a hobby, I would do the mistake you're not ever supposed to do, which is that you bargain with yourself first. And I would say, well, this or that watch, it's not really worth that. And I would drop my prices. To not really account for my labor or anything else like that. And then, for those of you who heard this story, because I've told it certainly enough times, I had one guy who was buying a lot of my stuff. He was buying a ton of my watches, and I great customer, buying a lot of my stuff. Then Sabrina was poking around on Etsy, and she's like, hey, look at this guy. Look at all these watches he's got. Hey, Spencer, look at this.
Look at this. It's an alien watch.
And I looked at it, and I'm like, and I looked at the serial number, and I'm like, I did that watch. And I looked at his account.
He was selling it for like 1,000 plus.
Yeah, he had an Arnie on there that I had sold him for at the time, this is a long time ago, like $600. And he had sold it for $1,800. And so I basically, in bargaining with myself and second guessing and doubting myself, all I was doing was transferring my margin to this guy in New York. Well, that ended. So whenever I sell a watch, my labor and the rebuild and everything is always factored into that. Because, it's only fair. I'm not going to charge people, one price for if they're getting the watch serviced and then another price if they're going to buy a watch. So that's why. I guess it's Klein effect. It's good that people have confidence in my work. Mm-hmm. I just have to keep doing the right things.
Mm-hmm. From Sunset. Hello, Spencer and Sabrina. Just under a year ago, I purchased an SKX011. I've been wearing the watch with the blue caseback sticker still applied. Would you recommend leaving the sticker on or removing it and keeping it on its hang tags? I have gotten the impression from watching your past videos that you would recommend leaving it on. What is your opinion? Keep up the great videos. You and Sabrina make a great dynamic duo.
We are a dynamic duo. I don't know. I'm always jazzed when I see an original watch that has... Oh, here, hold this. Actually, I got something else to answer this question.
I don't know why I'm holding a sword.
Because I didn't want to haul it around. I'm always jazzed when I see original things that have their caseback stickers. It's just neat. You don't see it very often. For example,
I love that.
What?
Having the caseback sticker. I think it's so cool.
Well, anyway, this case has the original blue caseback sticker on it. I just think it's neat. whatever this stuff was, it was like a cross between a sticker and or paint. I don't know what it was. The modern stuff, I don't know. Like my new Arnie doesn't have. I left the sticker on, and I've done that in the past as well. I just find with the modern ones, they're literally just sort of cling plastic, and they kind of peel off. It makes no never mind. If you want to leave it on, it's your deal. Leave it on. If you want to take it off, take it off. Hang tags and all that other kind of stuff. For me, the case back sticker is always like a neat thing. I don't understand this watch. I got this out of a watchmaker's estate, and the case back is literally new old stock, and the case is destroyed. So I don't quite understand how these two things ended up next to each other. But anyway, that's what a 50-plus-year-old case back with a case back sticker on it looks.
From Dicer50, my father bought a gold dial brown greenish case Citizen Bullhead back in 1981 and used it for 30 years. He was a pilot. It was the first watch that amazed me when I was a child. Luckily, I was able to restore it a few months ago, and it's running perfectly. Flyback sometimes doesn't work properly. I love Tarantino. It made me so happy to see that Brad Pitt used it in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That's really more of a you question than me.
I would wear it, but for some reason I looked at it and the date was super wrong. And I don't know what happened. It said it was the 11th, even though you said it for the correct date.
Well, no, because I was fiddling around with the crown and trying to do winding because the crown was too small, and so I must have jacked that up when I was working on it.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing wrong with the watch.
Okay, that's why I wasn't wearing it, because I was afraid that it was going to explode.
No, it's perfectly fine. I was trying to find, because the hand wind crown on that thing is actually really small, and I was actually looking through my billion crowns that I have here to try to find one that was basically a little taller, a little bigger, that would make it easier to grab and wind, but I never did find anything in all my crowns. Tell you, parts for Citizens, holy crap.
Are they harder than Seiko?
Impossible to find. I can't believe it. I can't believe how hard it is. And I don't know, it may be because there's a lot of Citizen stuff out there, but like Citizen parts, they don't say anything about what they are. Like how you divine what's inside, what thing goes to what. I don't know. There's no interchange guide that I've found. Not that one doesn't exist. I'm simply not aware of it. With Seiko, you have parts exchange and parts guides, and you can say, okay, well, this is blank, and I've got tons of those. Citizens is just like, I don't know what this crap is. So maybe people just don't sell it.
Maybe.
Maybe it goes into landfills.
From Blair Robert, interesting that the dial got yellowing lume, but the hands are bluish lume. My 77 Turtle is exactly the same. Is this what happened on original examples?
He's talking about 6309 divers. Seiko's Suez dive production in like 75, 76, 77 had this thing, and I'm sure a lot of you know what I'm talking about, where the dial lume is like this tan color, like this tan butter color, and the hands are white. And this is something you see, like grandfather tunas almost exclusively look like this. They always have that butter colored tan lume. I just
butter isn't tan, it's yellow.
It's sort of a yellowish, tanny, sandy, buttery color.
Okay.
In any case, but for the 6309s, you really see it in 77. So that's a classic hallmark of a 77. If you look and you see that tan dial lume and the white hand lume, I don't know why it is that way. I don't know what Seiko was doing. I don't know that they look like that when they came out of the factory. It might be an age thing. It's not a wear thing. It's not a earned patina thing. It's not like something that happened because of heat. I just sold a 6159 grandfather tuna that was utterly mint condition, and that it had the darkest, most beautifully yellowy lume I've ever seen. So it's not a function of wear or heat or moisture. Maybe time. We'd have to find color photographs of what they looked like when they were new. Basically, somebody needs to find the catalog photographs and see if that look is there. And I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, that's a 77 thing. A real classic look. What?
I think about other things.
I saw a video today of somebody's grandfather making pumpkin fries.
I'd eat them.
Yeah, well, he makes them just like the sweet potato fries that you make, except with pumpkin.
I'm sure they're delicious. From Rick Riviera. Okay, it's a long one.
It's a long one?
It's a long one.
It's a long one.
That's what she said. I just bought an SKX 173 from a small town AD. What's an AD?
Authorized dealer.
Thank you. That looks to have been neglected NOS for 15 years. It has a Singapore dial, A movement, and an August 2004 serial, and came with the box and papers and a warranty card the seller filled out in front of me.
Wow, okay.
The tag and box had the wrong model number, though, an SKX175, which makes me a bit concerned it may not be true NOS. Everything looks to be the appropriate age, though, including the charming 7S26 only dive watch manual. Anything I should look out for on a watch that old with questionable newness? I imagine it doesn't have much wear, but some things age no matter what. It was a little slow, but I was able to correct that by nudging the regulator. I don't have a time grapher, so I don't know what the amplitude is like. I have an SKX 007 I bought last year when I upgraded with an NH36, but this has pretty much replaced it as my daily wear. I can't bring myself to stop wearing the 173 despite knowing I won't dare swap the movement on it like I did with the 007. I prefer the dial design, and I even like the old style rubber strap it came on.
I can't believe the guy filled out his warranty card. I wonder how Seiko would deal with that. I mean, a 2004 watch with an obsolete movement in it. Okay, it's a 2004 watch. I'm assuming, don't worry about that.
Willow has been having tantrums since she walked in the door.
I wouldn't worry about the box. I mean, if it's been sitting there for 15 years, then anything is possible that something got swapped out. I mean, who knows? A watch that old, even if it's never been worn, the lubricants are going to be useless. The lubricants are going to be useless. Yes, it's going to be in physically good condition, but it doesn't have lubrication really to keep it going. And then what that means is you're going to get less amplitude, but you're also going to get a lot of wear. So, I don't know. I mean, it's not like it's a super irreplaceable watch. So, I mean, you can wear it with some joy. Long term, it absolutely should be serviced. And you'll get better usage out of it if you do service it. Normally we do these videos on Friday before Willow comes home because she walks in the door and she and her sister this starts happening.
Yeah. Normally you would hear it ding two.
Yeah, one or two.
Yes. But you were working and I was lazy. No, I was cleaning.
I was reluming a 6105 dial on hands, which is always very, very it's like I lock the door, like no one gets to come near me until I'm done doing that. But anyway, next question.
Smucker's Tea. How often should you change the seals of dive watch that you wear every day? I treat my seals well and let the watch soak in fresh water after going to the beach or the pool, and I will clean the watch whenever I start seeing large amounts of buildup on the case back. How long can a seal stay watertight?
The official line is that every 5 years they should be replaced, and if you're actively diving with the watch, they should be replaced every year. That's the official rule. So I guess it's a matter of how long have you had the watch, and is it time to do seals on it? The big thing though with doing seals, especially if you're going into waters, don't go to some duffer like me. Go to somebody who has a dry tester, somebody who's got the real deal that can really get the job done and give you an after service guarantee that it's water resistant. That's super key.
From Todd S. It is great to see these quartz movements taken apart and the terrific engineering and manufacturing involved. As a lover of test gear, your quartz tester is the bomb too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, the QT99, it's a great machine. It's outdated, but it does its job. The problem is that little docking thing. The wiring in that is not great, and I'm having kind of issues with it. But yeah, if it's tuned in, it's awesome. I've never been able to get that little separate plug-in unit to listen to LCD watches, which is kind of an issue. And I honestly, I can't figure out where the problem is. So yeah, it's kind of annoying, but yeah, no, it's a neat piece and I love the old school of it. It's almost like, oh, what are they? It's almost a Nixie tube kind of thing. That old deal. I don't believe it really is a Nixie tube, but
What are you talking about?
talking about my QT99.
No, I know that. What's a Nixie tube?
A Nixie tube is like old school. Okay, like it's like aircraft instruments and all this kind of stuff. And like the 50s were made with this stuff. It's like instead of being like a digital thing like an LCD, it's literally little glowing tubes that actually light up.
What, like a TV tube?
No, they like the QT99 when the lights come up. It's trying to think of an example. It was a big thing for like aircraft technology. It was a big thing for like, Cold War military tech.
Sorry, Sadie's texting me.
There you go. Anyway, yeah, no, it's super cool. And that quartz movement, that 7548, I'm just glad to be able to talk about them so people get more appreciation of how well made they are. I just think they're fantastic. Okay. Sean Puffy Catacombs.
Yes.
Hi guys, question for your next mail call. Do you plan to do a hands-on look at the Seiko 5 Sports? In particular, I'm curious whether their parts bin watches using leftover SKX cases and 4036 movements. I was actually just looking at them yesterday.
I'm gonna go vacate the premises, and I'll be right back.
All right. I was looking at the website yesterday. I was looking at those because I think there was one model that I was looking for. I think I dreamed that it existed. I don't know what they are. It's interesting that they are not screw-down crowns. The display case back, I get that. That's fine. That's an easy swap to do. If they had the standard case backs, we would know more of what they were, but all the information is on those case backs. But the fact that it's not a screw-down crown, that's real interesting. And I would want to really look at one of the cases to look at that crown area to see if there's a fundamental difference in the manufacturing around that area. I'd love to see one. I don't know that I necessarily want to drop the money to bring one in there. They're a little garish for me. Some of their new stuff is really neat. There's a handset on one of the new solar. It's like a solar tuna with a black dial and like black and silver matte hands with like a tan loom, and they're almost like block baton style hands, almost like a Space Age 6105 handset. I'd love to get my hands on those. The cases, looking at the cases of this Seiko 5 Sports, they look just like SKX cases to me. And I mean, Seiko has the machinery to just crank them out, so maybe they did. The big question is that area around the screw-down crown fundamentally different in how the case itself is machined? I don't know if that'll really tell us anything, but... Oh, this was a question. This is Blonde Strats Are More Fun. Asking which bezel was chosen. This is about the restoration of that 7548 that was beaten around. Which bezel was chosen? Ghost bezel has my vote. Amazing restoration. Do you enjoy doing these or an NOS example more? No, actually, and the owner of that watch, I haven't heard a word from him. Nothing, not a peep, not even an acknowledgement of the video, which is weird. I don't know. Things are funky these days. There's ever since like the economy's kind of gotten funky since, and with all the international trouble that's not to talk politics that's being generated by all this ridiculous tariff garbage going on and all this other uncertainty. People seem to be kind of pulling back a little bit. They're pulling back into their shells, and people are waiting for the next shoe to drop. So I haven't heard from him. He hasn't made a choice. I do like the ghost bezel. I think it looks really neat, and that's honest wear. That's a pretty cool piece. Do I enjoy doing these or an NOS example more? I don't know. I enjoy challenges. I mean, that certainly is a challenge, and for me, a lot of the pleasure, a lot of the reward of doing this kind of work is to bring back something that, was probably destined at some point or would be destined for the landfill. To take something and to bring it back to life, that's a real core thing that I love doing. Okay. All right. So now we're talking about MGs. So if you don't want to hear about MGs and if you don't care about MGs, this is the time to pull the ripcord because there's going to be no more watch talk after this. It's going to be just answering people's questions about these MGs.
Back in black, literally. Look at me, I'm wearing black.
You know what Morrissey said?
Which, I don't know.
Well, they know what Morrissey said. Everybody does.
Well, I know that I wear black on the outside.
Because?
That's how I feel on the inside.
I wear black on the outside because black is how I feel on the inside.
Okay.
A little bit of Moz for you.
Okay.
Les Moz, isn't that what they call him?
I don't care.
What about... Oh, all right, well, that's fine.
Sorry, I had to go intervene in a crisis that I'm not going to inform everybody about. So I'm not a happy lady. Okay. Spencer, just watched the Mail Call 55. As someone who loves getting my hands dirty, working on stuff, and someone who lived with British cars for longer than they should have, I have to say you are 100% correct in saying you might have been better off spending more money and getting a better car. I hope subconsciously you knew you were going to be working on this car for a long time and it's going to be a lot of headaches. I'm not a doctor and I don't play one on TV, but my analysis is you wanted something to get your mind off watches and nothing will do it better than fussing, being frustrated, being pissed off at a British car. A car in this condition is a long, long payoff. Thanks again, John Missionek?
I guess. I don't know. I mean, she's been yelling at me for years to have another hobby because my hobby is watches and my business is watches. So all I do is watches. And she's like, you need to come up with another hobby. So we've got this. And I agree. Though yesterday, of course, I'm sitting in the MG and I'm looking at it. And she's out talking to me because my first
choice...
With
my glass of wine.
My first choice would have been 68, 69, or 70 Ford Mustang. Maybe a 71. There were a few 71s that I looked at, but I didn't go for them. And I saw this, and I was like, all the doors are leading me that way. And so I got it. But then I'm sitting there in the car, and she's like, oh, I love Mustangs. And I'm like...
I said I'd be drooling if you got a Mustang.
And I'm like... I specifically did not go for a 1975.
It wouldn't have fit with the truck.
It wouldn't have fit with the truck, but man, it was cool. But I don't know, it's weird, about this car. When I saw the pictures of it, I was looking at it, and I don't know, there's something about it, I'm like, it didn't look like a disaster to me. That may have been the price point talking, which was persuasive, but I don't know. And then we went and saw it, and I'm like... I mean, when I was a kid, my dad bought a Jaguar. In 1977, I would have been about, 9. And Dad bought this Jaguar K150 convertible, and it was a heap of shit. It had been horribly beaten and wrecked, badly wrecked, and really, really badly restored. The guy had spray painted the outside two-tone silver and maroon. He had sprayed the red leather interior. He had spray painted it black. It was in such terrible condition. It was amazing. And he mostly kind of brought that back over the course of 30 years. The MG is nothing like that. I've been digging into the MG here and there in the evenings. Mostly what I've been doing is just research and laying out parts lists of things that I need. But I've been cleaning out the interior, specifically looking at underneath like the footwells and things like that, because the floorboards in MGs tend to rot out. And I found some rust. But I was thinking about this last night as I was busy vacuuming up this sort of rust garbage. And I was like, well, it's both worse than and better than I imagined. It is what it is. It's just, but like the main unibody frame is great. There are some holes in the floor, nothing major. But I keep finding things that are surprisingly good. Like, okay, the car hasn't run in 30 years, right? So for fun, Sabrina bought me this amazing thing. It's like this emergency pack that's both a jumper and it pumps up tires. Anyway, but on a whim, I actually hooked up the power because I don't have a battery in it. And most of the electrics came to life. Most of the electrics were there. And I was looking at it like the underneath the car, there's not a lot of rot really at all. Like the bottom is mostly clean. The wheels all turn fine. It's had some mistreatment, but it doesn't feel dead to me. It feels like it wants to do stuff. But we'll see. I was sitting in it the other day. One of the things that did not come back was the fuel pump. You sit in an MG and you turn the key over, you're supposed to hear bop, 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 bop of the fuel pump under by the back left wheel, back right wheel going. I had never heard that. And I was sitting there and I was fiddling with something else. A couple days go by and I was steeling myself to go underneath the car and rip that pump out. And all of a sudden it kicks in. I hear it. And I was like, wow, that's great. It's great. It's a great sign. So, yes, I probably would have been better off getting a nicer car, but this is going to be a great learning experience and I'm going to get to go through everything. So what the hell? It's for the long term anyway.
From Alonzo Cushing, congrats Spencer on the purchase of that lovely old MGB GT. Back in the early 70s when I was free and single, I owned a beautiful 1968 MGB. It was white with chrome wires, chrome rollback, black upholstery, Clarion cassette player, yes cassette player, and a beauty to drive. The chicks loved it.
We've been looking at all these vintage ads with like girls standing next to MGBs and tires, and she was like always like, why? I don't know. They're neat cars, man. They're neat. They have their own charm.
Okay.
I'm really looking forward to getting you in it and taking for a spin and then teaching you how to drive a stick. I think that's going to be great. Oh, one nice thing though about this MGB that I'm surprised about. A number of people have said, "Oh, get ready to empty your wallet." I've actually found basically you can buy anything for an MGB. It's crazy. Like everything is made. Everything is made. And it's not terribly expensive. I have a list that's like 40 different pieces long, and it's I think I'm up to like $412 or something for like a huge amount of the stuff, like complete wheel rebuild kits, complete with like drums and rotors and everything, and calipers and like all this crazy stuff is going to show up in a giant box at some point whenever I get around to buying it, and it's going to actually be pretty clean. I'm also amazed, and even Sabrina noticed this looking at the car, how simple it is, really. I mean, it's kind of like a scooter on four wheels.
From Randy Novick, nice little project. I have a 1971 Buick Electra 225 coupe with a 455.4. It seats 2 MGBs plus room for kids and groceries. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with that little thing. Good on you for giving it a new and caring home.
Absolutely. Boy, yeah, a 71 Buick Electra. So I imagine that's one of the things, when you're pulling out of the garage, the front end has already gotten to your destination. That thing's just, those are big cars.
I wouldn't know. I'd have to look it up. Okay, this was the one that I read before because I don't know. I thought they were talking about a Speedmaster. The wristwatch experience. You may know this already, but the Speedo and other gauges on the dash were made by an old watchmaking company called Smiths.
Absolutely. And I've looked at some of Smith's watches and I was thinking, wouldn't it be neat to get a Smith's watch to go with my Smith dialed car? But I don't actually know that much about them. I don't know if they're good or bad or what. But that's definitely on my list of things to think about.
From David Wu. Oh, fun. Lucas Electrics had 4 Land Rovers. The Prince of Darkness ruled my garage.
That's what they call Lucas, Prince of Darkness. Well, we'll see. So far, like I said, a lot of the electrics are there. They function, which is crazy. It's like you run power through this thing. Signals haven't clicked in 30 years. You put it on, and it like the left side was like click, click, clock, and I'm like, okay, well, we'll see. Then I went to the right, and it was like ding, 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 ding. The lights were bright. Everything worked. Reverse lights worked. Interior light doesn't work, but that's because the bulb is missing. The radio turns on with the light, but there's no sound because the antenna is broken. But like the fan works. Starter turns over. I don't know, man. We'll see. Like I said, I've got a feeling. Deep inside.
Oh yeah. How'd you know I was going to say that?
We go through this conversation every single time.
Okay, from Smucker's Tea. Cool car. Remember, if you want a car to work on, get a British one. I hope driving a standard transmission... I love driving a standard transmission, and none of my college friends could drive my car too. Hopefully finding MGB parts is easier than it is for Seiko.
Yeah, like I said, there's a million parts. And, driving a standard is great. My very good friend, I've known him since kindergarten, and we went to every single school together from kindergarten through college. Anyway, he inherited his father's and grandfather's Porsche 356. And so he came over yesterday. He wrote me, he's like, hey man, I want to come over and see your new car. And I was like, yeah, come on over. Sebastian and I were poking around in the garage, and I was cleaning up, getting ready, and Eric pulls up in his Porsche 356 that he just finished restoring. Family car since new. Boy, it's super cool. Wow, what a cool car. But they're 6 volt, and he only recently had it restored, and it's doing that thing that 6 volt cars do, which is that it's cranking real slow, and there isn't a lot of fire to the spark plugs, and so it was going roar, roar, roar. So I'm like, just like the old days, I used to be able to bump start my own VW Bug. We bump started his Porsche.
I don't even know. You were like, I push started it, and I was like, you look like you're gonna faint.
Well, no, the thing is you can't do it with an automatic. But what you do is, okay, your starter doesn't work right. And so what you're going to do is you push the car until you're getting up to speed. The car is physically moving, but it's not running. And what you do is you put it into gear, and then you dump the clutch. And it turns the wheels, turn the engine over, and it starts running.
Huh.
I used to be able to do it to my own VW.
How'd you do it if you're by yourself?
VWs don't weigh anything. Even his.
Wait, so you would push it and run?
Yeah, you would get the driver's side door open in a parking lot or wherever the heck it is, and you just start going thump 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 until you get enough oomph going, and then you hop into the car, dump the clutch, and it starts up, and off you go.
Oh.
It's the old days, man. That was the old days.
Okay. That's it.
That's it. I am gonna start. I meant to actually do this last weekend, but I was incredibly tired. I was out of my head with tiredness, and so I did not start making videos. But I'm going to start a separate a playlist on this channel just for MGB stuff. So people who want to watch MGB stuff can look at that. People who don't care about MGB stuff can avoid it. There we go.
It's going to be in its own playlist. There's no point in starting a new channel for it.
There will be its own playlist, and
yes.
I will do my best to segregate MG stuff from watch stuff. And that's it. Anything to add?
I'm hungry.
Yeah, it's Friday. Oh, it's pizza night.
I know.
Is the oven on?
No.
Shoot. Okay, well, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, folks. Bye.
Bye.